Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español, sea por la mañana, sea por la tarde o sea por la noche. Para mí ahora es de noche, ¿verdad? Ok, la lección de hoy. Sorry, you Florida State Seminoles. The Seminoles, no, these are the seven O's. Sorry, Snow White fans, not the seven dwarfs, right? Okay, these are the seven O's. So, here we go. The seven O's are these seven words here. You see the O in red, and we drop that O in front. That's a key word, front. We drop the O in front of a masculine singular noun. Now let's look at our nouns. It's el día, day, el hombre, man, la semana, week, el trabajo, job or work, la persona, person, la hora, hour, el libro, book, el dicho is a saying, el año, year, el niño, child, male child, el señor, the man, el mes, month, el error, error or mistake, el perro, dog, la razón, the reason, la vez, time, like first time, second time, third time, el maestro, teacher, and el profesor. So all of these that we just went over that start with an L, you're going to drop that O in front of those words. Drop the O in front of a masculine singular noun. But you're going to find out that if you use these seven O's, we call them the seven O's, on the backside of a noun, the O stays in the word, right? So let's start off with primero. If I want to say my first day, mi primer día. If I want to say the first day, el primer día, or I could say el día primero. If I put primero after a masculine singular noun, you're going to keep the O. But in front, you're going to drop it. El primer día, el día primero. The first man on the list. El primer hombre en la lista. El hombre primero, the first man, el hombre primero. More common to say el primer hombre. Semana, if I want to say the first week, well, we're not dropping the O, we're changing the O to A to make it agree. La primera semana, the third week. La tercera semana. Someone says, ¿Qué semana tienes libre este año? What week do you have free this year? And you say, ninguna semana. Not a single week. Ninguna semana. Uno, bueno, and malo. I like it like, if you want to say a good day, a day would be un día. You don't say día uno. Just un día would be a day. You want to say a good day, un buen día, right? You apocryphate. You take that O off of both of these, un buen día. A bad day, un mal día. However, you could go like this, un día bueno, putting bueno at the end, keeping the O. A bad day, un día malo, keeping the O at the end. Notice it's just primero, tercero. Second, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and so on. You're not dropping that O in front of the masculine singular noun. Alguno means some, like, no sé, alguna vez, one time, alguna vez. Yo recuerdo que alguna vez, I remember back one time, alguna vez, ninguna vez, uno, bueno, and malo. Let's look at some others. He's a good man. Es un buen hombre. Or es un hombre bueno. He's a bad man. Es un mal hombre. Or more commonly, es un hombre malo. Let's see, semana. First week, primera semana. Third week, tercera semana. Trabajo, my first job. Mi primer trabajo. A good job. Un buen trabajo. Or un trabajo bueno. Let's go with persona. A good person. Una buena persona. A bad person. Una mala persona. Hora. The first hour that you get here. La primera hora. Hora. The third hour. La tercera hora. It's a good book. Es un buen libro. or es un libro bueno. It's a bad book. Es un mal libro. Es un libro malo. Uno, bueno, malo. Alguno, ninguno. Alguno is used, not so much, but it's used. Ninguno is used, but not so much. These are the two that aren't used a ton of the time, like primero and tercero. Also, when you learn how to do the first of the month, you want to say the 1st of June, it's el primero with the O. El primero de junio. De junio is a noun and it's singular, but it has to be immediately in front of a masculine singular noun to drop the O. So, el primero de julio. You keep the O. Let's take a look here. We got dicho. It's a good saying. Es un buen dicho. Es un dicho bueno. Okay? Año, a good year. Un buen año or un año bueno. A bad year, un año malo. Un mal año. More common to say un año malo. My first year, mi primer año. My third year, mi tercer año, or mi año primero, my first year, or mi año tercero. Let's come over here. Some kid was saying blah, 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 blah. Algún niño estaba diciendo blah, 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 blah. Algún niño. And then there's an accent on the U of algún when you take the O off. Señor, no man here speaks French. Ningún señor aquí habla francés. Ninguno. Not a single one. Ninguno. If you say these words by themselves, you leave the O on. Like primero, first. Like I'm first. Like soy primero. You're third. Tú eres tercero. Tú vas tercero. Yo voy primero. I'm going first. Yo voy primero. Tú vas segundo. You're going second. Ella va tercero. And so on. We're going to learn our ordinal numbers coming up in short order. Mes. My first month, mi primer mes. My third month, mi tercer mes. Or mi mes primero, mi mes tercero. A lot of this stuff is personal preference. They're both correct, but you're going to find out that there are tendencies in Spanish where most people will say, like my first day, mi primer día. Some people will say mi día primero. It just depends. But you'll see tendencies. But the bottom line is Spanish is your canvas. Communication is your canvas. You're the artist. Use whichever way you prefer and you're more comfortable with. Let's go with, here, a bad error. Un error malo or un mal error. Fue un mal error. It was a bad mistake. Perro. He's a good dog. Es un buen perro or es un perro bueno. Razón. Razón is feminine, so you would say, for some reason, por alguna, change that to an A, por alguna razón, for no reason. I'm not going to allow it for no reason. No lo voy a permitir. Por ninguna razón. Por ninguna razón. In Spain, razón. Razón. Standard Latin America, razón. Let's go with vez. It's my first time. This is feminine. Es mi primera vez. Okay, it's your third time. Es tu tercera vez. It's going to change because vez is not masculine. Remember, you drop the O only immediately in front of a masculine singular noun. If you use them on the back side of the noun, masculine singular, then you include the O. Maestro. He's a good teacher. Es un buen maestro. To say she's a good teacher would be es una buena maestra. Una buena maestra, they all end in A because it's feminine. Profesor. He's a great professor. Es un gran profesor. Es un profesor increíble, ¿verdad? Es un profesor malo, es un mal profesor. Es un profesor malo, es un profesor bueno. I prefer bueno and malo. Malo I prefer after than in front. Okay? Primero, first, tercero, third. Alguno is some, ninguno is like none, or like not a single one, ninguno. Uno is a, or an, or one. Bueno, good, and malo, bad. So these are the 7 O's. You drop the O in front of a masculine singular noun. That's the only time you're going to drop the O. If you use them by themselves, they end in O, or they can end in O. They could end in A, or OS or AS, like your first weeks or your last weeks. Tus primeras semanas o tus últimas semanas. You'd say las primeras. So when the word is used by itself, it can go any of the four ways. Primero, primera, primeras, primeros, primeras, right? Tercero, tercera, terceros, terceras, depending on what it refers back to. If it's used by itself and it's referring back to a noun, then you're going to use whichever four of the adjectives agrees in gender, masculine, feminine, or what they call in number, singular or plural. Okay, so again, like my first day, mi primer día, my first month, es mi primer mes. It's her first birthday, es su primer cumpleaños, es su cumpleaños primero. You could say it that way, but I like to put primer in front. And again, you're going to develop your own style, and you're going to hear people. That's the greatest thing. Listen to native speakers, watch TV, listen to songs, and look at the placement, how they use the 7 O's. Do they use it in front and take the O off, or do they put it at the end? Both are correct. Some are definitely more common, more trendy than the other, and you'll pick up on those. Okay, just to review. It's my first day, es mi primer día. She's the third person, es la tercera persona. This changes to A because that's feminine. In the very first hour of the day, en la primera hora del día. Some book talks about romanticism. Algún libro habla del romanticismo. Algún libro. No book talks about that. Ningún libro aquí habla de eso. No book here talks about that. Un libro, a book, un dicho, a saying, a good saying, un buen dicho. Más vale prevenir que lamentar. Más vale prevenir que lamentar. It's better to be safe than sorry. Okay? My first time, mi primera vez. The first time, la primera vez. The third time, la segunda vez, or excuse me, la tercera vez. The second time, la segunda vez. A good teacher, a good professor, un buen maestro, un buen profesor. A good man, un buen señor. A good month. You have a business and you did a lot of good sales, a lot of sales in the month. And you say, it was a good month. Fue un buen mes. You don't want to say, fue uno bueno mes. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to work. Fue un buen mes. Fue un mes bueno. Fue un mes excelente. Fue un mes tremendo. Fue un mes increíble. Fue un mes fenomenal. Fue un mes sensacional. Fue un mes padrísimo. Different ways. Do we have this? We call them the 7 O's because there are 7 words that you drop the O, the final O here, off in front of a masculine singular noun, like we did. First day, primer día, first man, primer hombre, first month, primer mes, some month, algún mes, some mistake, I don't know, algún error, some teacher here, algún maestro. You drop that O in front of a masculine singular noun, but you can leave it, the O on when it comes after, like a good teacher, un maestro bueno, or un buen maestro. Now, if it's feminine, obviously this O is going to change to A if it's singular, but if it's plural, it's going to be OS or AS. For example, my first days would be mis primeros días. Notice we didn't drop the O, did we? Mis primeros días, because días with an S is not a singular noun, it's a plural noun. Everything is here for a reason in front of a singular masculine noun, okay? My first months, mis primeros meses. My first mistakes, mis primeros errores. The first people that arrived, las primeras personas que llegaron. Okay, I think you've got it. That is the 7 O's. Okay, gracias amigos. Es por la noche. Ahorita que acabe, as soon as I'm done, Mi señora y yo vamos a ver un poco de la televisión. Nos gusta ver Netflix por la noche. Todas las noches tratamos de ver, we try to watch, algo de Netflix. Acabamos de ver, we just saw la serie, the series de White Collar. Ay, ay, ay. Es una serie, un programa de televisión increíble, ¿verdad? White Collar. Tremendo. Neil Caffrey y Peter Burke. Ahora estamos mirando Virgin River. Nos gusta. Está Mel, una enfermera, ¿verdad? Que tiene problemas, una historia de problemas. Está Jack, un ex-marine de la guerra de Irak, ¿verdad? Y viven en Virgin River, en el norte de California. La novela, o sea, la serie, es muy interesante. Ok, es todo por ahora. Tengan una gran noche. Nos vemos mañana con otra lección de Learn Spanish Rápido with Profesor Pablo. Love you guys. Take care. Be good.